is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy JDiesel coming at you with the next installment of Under the Radar. And with me today, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Grandmaster FloKey. How you doing?
You want my honest answer, JD?
You know what? I want nothing but honesty from you.
Okay, listen, man. I'm a week and a half away from graduating.
Okay.
I'm losing my brain cells. I'm playing Vegito now. What is happening with my life? Actually, no, it's a sub team. But yeah. Again, we do apologize for last week. Something happened that kind of forced us to not have a week. But we did promise you guys a guest. We did promise you everything. But besides all that, I'm doing great. I'm like half asleep. My girlfriend's kind of sick, but you know, it's the usual day in Connecticut, right? It's nice out. Nice out.
Well, with us today, you just mentioned a guest, is none other than Rogueyoshi himself.
From
Take it
PA.
away, Al. How you doing?
Hey guys. Hello. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Not a problem.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
so for those who don't know you, for some reason, right, for some reason, they see this Rogueyoshi guy with the green screen in the background, have no idea what's going on. Tell the people at home a little bit about yourself, where you're from, who you play, stuff like that.
All right, I'm a software engineer from Philadelphia. Uh, in Dragon Ball, I play Nappa. I'm pretty well regarded for using him. Apparently, so I don't know. Maybe you guys can chime in on that. But
Yeah.
so last year I attended like I want to say like over 100 tournaments, like majors and regionals and locals and stuff
Wow.
combined. So like, and out of those hundreds, I actually won. My on my victory log, I have like 57 now. I think
What?
no majors though, so like it's definitely
Oh.
I still gotta hold that.
That's OD. 57?
Yeah.
Wow. That's OD. Like I have. That's actually a really good thing to think about. It's like how many wins do I have under my belt now? Yeah, that's a really good thought to have. But yeah, you play Nappa. You're from PA. We're kind of going back up to the Northeast, man. We had that little stint in the South, Jay. We had a little stint in the South.
Yeah.
We had that Southern hospitality. If you guys missed those episodes, the episodes are in the YouTube playlist. You guys can click any of them. But yeah, we're back in the Northeast for a little bit. Heading up to PA, talking to Mr. Rogueyoshi. So I want to get into the first topic, that being of Nappa. Now, this character has been through so much. Honestly, I feel like this character it feels like he gets everything, but then gets nothing. Right? It's like you see, like, I remember when you guys remember when he got the first buff of 3 standing lows, or
I-
3 lows and 1 block.
That wasn't actually that first buff came after a nerf. After they changed how J2H works.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So they got rid of his old sparking loop that he had, but and then that patch where they gave him the lowest game, but also people don't know this, but Nappa during the first part of season 1 before the first major balance patch, he had a blockstring infinite.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Yeah, Cyberman. M Cyberman. M Cyberman. Spit wasn't a key blast in that version, so he can plant Cyberman during it.
What? Wait, so he would just keep looping the Cyberman over and over?
Yeah. You can.
That's
Some of
ridiculous.
my older match videos, you can see it. Like,
Yeah, the first real balance patch didn't happen until like March. Or
yeah, some of the power during the some of the power, like around that time that got announced.
yeah, either right
Yeah, the
before
Bardock
Combo Breaker or right after Combo Breaker.
after the Bardock patch.
I know what you're talking about. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like this character has gotten everything, but in the grand scheme of things, right? I feel like he's gotten nothing. Like he
They
hasn't
changed
fucked with
everything but the
seriously.
main thing that makes him bad. Like he has to play normal character neutral, and that's bad in this game. If you have to play normal character neutral, it doesn't matter what you get when you get in. Like this
Really.
is, when he gets in, he gets like he has the best mix ups in the game when he gets in. Like not solo though. You had to also that's another huge thing. He's he can't anchor without sparking, and he's incredibly assist dependent.
Okay.
Mm.
Which is kind of a thing now with certain characters, right? Like you see them like being really assist reliant. Like Videl comes to mind as like a character last patch that like, you saw like so much because she did so much for certain like teams and characters. Now you see her on point more. I mean, even now, like before too, but like you see her more as more of assist reliant. I can kind of agree with that notion about Nappa, where like he needs a lot more
Yeah, but not
assists.
as much as them. So his
Really?
main thing, if he wins neutral, that's it. You lose your character. Like if he wins neutral, he calls assist, plant Cyberman. You take two mix ups. If they fail, you get your assist back, or you can plant another Cyberman. Like it's not if he plants another Cyberman now, like as opposed to old patch, there's gaps, but not most times you get your assist back. You wind up getting both your assists back if he's point. Like if you want to get in and use the other to start the block strings, the other one that you use to get in recovers while you plant Cyberman. I mean, while Cyberman comes out and does his thing, and then you get another a chance to plant another Cyberman by using the assist, and then the other one goes off a cooldown.
Okay.
So he doesn't. You don't really get your turn if he gets started. But the problem is, against a proper team, he doesn't really get started because he has to play like the most basic neutral like imaginable.
Okay, that makes sense. That's definitely something new. How do you feel about that, Jay?
I think like watching Nappa, I completely get what you mean in terms of like having. I've actually had the chance to play you online a couple of times.
Mm.
Granted, I took maybe 2 games out of like 25,
Right.
but the couple times that I have gotten to play now, granted this was a few months ago, it at least on the defensive side, it felt very much like what you had to exploit was the neutral. Because I play Ginyu. And so for me, it was like, okay, I never want to be in a position where Nappa locks me down. Because once I was in block and once I was pushed to the corner, it was so oppressive. I was scared to guard cancel. I was scared to do anything. I didn't want to reflect.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
really guard cancel.
You really can't do
He
nothing.
gets a cancel. There is one time you get the guard cancel if he does normal Cyberman plant covered by an assist, you can always guard cancel it in this patch since it's invincible now. If he does if they know that, they can just spend the bar and do EX, and then you guard cancel it and you get hit. Like he gets a full punish.
So it reverts back to that old patch where like you have to literally okay.
Yeah.
That's intriguing. And like it's weird now like talking about Nappa because we've seen kind of not a resurgence of Nappa, but like more of like
It it is
I've seen more
it
players
is
come in.
it is definitely a resurgence. There's so many new people in the Nappa Discord. People are talking every day in there, like because
Really?
Nappa, uh, in a lot of ways he's a different character, but he's still the same character when it comes to neutral. Like in every other way, except neutral. Actually, his defense is a little worse too. I'll go on that later. But
Yeah.
in every way possible that they could have made that character cool and fun, they did, but they didn't give him good neutral.
That's yeah. Like you're seeing players now like Axice, who is like known, right? Like this
Yeah.
dude, I love Axice. Like he's went through like Android 17. He
Mhm.
went bad to base coup this patch, but he picked up Nappa, Bum from New York. Shouts to him. He's playing. He's been playing Team Big Body
Oh
for
yeah,
like a
there's
long
something about
time.
All right, so something about Bum. So me and I share like all my Napa notes with Bum,
Yeah.
and it's like he got a lot of stuff. I'm actually not sure how much. I haven't seen him play like at all season 2, so I have no idea what he's doing. But season 1, I gave him like my entire list of notes for Napa, and
That's crazy.
but I've known Bum for a minute, since 2010, 2011. Marvel 3, Vanilla Marvel 3, we used to all go to his house like every week basically and go play Marvel 3. And I learned Hagar thanks to Bum back then.
Right.
The
Yeah,
pipe. Give
Yeah.
it
yeah,
to
the fight.
him.
So
So it's like. it's like returning the favor kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what
yeah.
one big body to another. Oh,
That's
I,
really
the
cool.
thing is, I don't really play big bodies. I'll play any character that I like, and I really like Hagar after seeing Bum.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
So you did mention Marvel 3, and I remember you from Marvel 3. For those who don't know you, this lovely human in vanilla discovered the Quicksilver glitch. If y'all don't remember that, you're too young. Cause like I'm old now, right? It's like I talk to people about Marvel 3 and I'm like, if you don't know what if you don't know like Doom Virgil or what X like
hidden
Dante back in the
missile.
day, I miss Dante from back in
I
the
thought you
day.
were about to say you miss hidden
Yeah.
missile, and I was about to be very mad at you.
Nah, it's okay. But no, yeah, but yeah, you come from like a Marvel 3 background. You've how long have you been in the FGC for? Since Marvel 3 or before that?
Uh, tournament wise, well, okay, I played a lot of net play back in 2003 and 2004,
Okay.
like Kyler net play, and then like tournament wise, I started playing multi blood 2000, multi blood and certain like SNK games in 2006, 2007, Guilty Gear too, and I mean everybody sort of played 3S again during that time. That was a resurgence, and then yeah, multi blood, Guilty Gear, kind of hard. Uh, every SNK game that came out during that time I played.
Yeah. So you've been around the block to kind of
Yeah.
see like every from my understanding like most of the generations. Like,
Everything after Dreamcast, yeah. I mean everything during and after Dreamcast era, yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of cool to like see like one of you, like, you and like a bunch of other guys that kind of been around the block and like coming into this
Yeah.
game and like helping out people like and that's
I
definitely
just
really cool.
I just turned 30 2 months ago. So I
That's
feel
OD.
yeah.
Wow. I can well, happy belated. But yeah, going back to Nappa, so season one you gave him all the tech, but yeah, like we had there's so Bum's been a prominent Nappa player. One person I got to commentate the other day. Shout out to Carnivore Gaming. I've been butchering his name for like a week now. Mike Saftig from
Saftig,
Mexico.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's been playing Nappa for a long time.
Mm.
What in your opinion now, what makes Nappa a different, like a unique character, and like why would he be appealing in this grand scheme of character like
He's
Bardock?
incredibly he's incredible. Well, I can't I'm I'm gonna get to that later, but I'll tell you why he's appealing.
Yeah, why is he
He's
appealing?
incredibly he's incredibly polarizing. If if he gets in, your character like
You
that's
got
it. Like you don't get another turn unless they really mess up.
yeah.
Like
He
if they're playing like they're supposed to do, there's actually nothing you can do. Like if they're using, if they're not only is it just them planning Cybermen, but if they know the right option selects to use in certain places where there would be gaps, it doesn't matter what you do.
Really okay.
Yeah,
One thing, because we did play at Defend the North, and I was like July, and I didn't
yeah.
really have
That was a
any
minute
idea
ago.
what was going on.
Yeah,
That was season one. One thing I didn't we haven't really sat down and played since
hmm
in bracket or in casuals. One thing I did
yeah.
notice is that Nappa is very like, it has that polarizing feel to him where like if you don't block, like if you're in the corner or like if you're stuck in block stun, you literally have to make, like going back to what you said, you have to make sure that Nappa makes a mistake, because if that Nappa doesn't make a mistake, and especially back in season one when you had characters like Kid Buu like running amok and like
Yeah.
those lockdown assists.
Yeah. Whew.
Like it was definitely like it's not. It's still scary now, but like back in the day, like I was shitting bricks. I hate, excuse my French. I was pooping some bricks when I sat in that kid when I was sitting in Kid Buu assist, and I'm like, this dude's playing like
Oh yeah, yeah.
seven.
That's back when I played two lockdown assists.
Kid Boo
Yeah,
Go Tanks.
kid.
Oh my god.
The two degenerate
All right,
kids.
so I want to talk on that a little bit. So back
Yeah,
then, I played two lockdown assists. Kid Buu Go Tanks, Nappa Kid Buu Go Tanks. It was one of the best Nappa shells, but it still had a. All right, so it gave him 2 opportunities to get started on his block strings. Basically,
Right.
like not only that, if he makes you block while he has the assist, he gets the plant and then he gets a mix up with both of those assists. With every other assist in the game, he gets one or the other, except for Yamcha. Yamcha
Okay.
gives them both too, and Cell almost gives them both. Like it gives him soft mix up after, but not hard like those two. So he used to be able to plant and then get a mix up
Yeah.
right immediately after. And but the problem is Nappa's the Kid Buu Gotenks helps Nappa's neutral a bit, like decently enough. It lets him do explosion plus Gotenks. It lets him do Ki blast plus Gotenks. It lets him do five ace plus Gotenks. But Kid Buu, only application you get is when he wins neutral already, and
Okay.
you get to plant. That's it. But the thing is, Kid Buu DAC, back when we had double super, Nappa got so much damage off of that team. Like I had mad 100% on most of the hits I can get if I had sparking.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Back when
Um,
double there wasn't meter. Well,
I
less.
mean,
Yeah,
the,
penalties.
the absolute best patch for Nappa was the pre Vegeta nerf patch. Obviously, like that was godlike.
Yeah, because you
They
can
were
just lock
that.
down and just
I mean, I'm absolutely convinced that Nappa Kid Buu Gotenks Nappa Gotenks. I mean Nappa Kid Buu Vegeta Nappa Gotenks Vegeta. Those S tier teams like back then.
right.
Even though uh Nappa's neutral was garbage, it's just Vegeta doing so much on that team
Yeah.
brought it up because anytime you make them block Vegeta, which it's very easy. Back then he got completely started. Now
Right.
you have to play like the rock paper scissors game with Vegeta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't miss Vegeta assist. I don't. I
Old
don't.
Vegeta assist was whack. It
I
did
don't.
not. It did not need to
Yeah.
exist in that form. Like
I don't miss Vegeta in that form because the fact that like it literally became like if you weren't playing Vegeta, you were really like playing the game right.
Yeah.
Or like,
I
well, like
mean,
you had
all
those
right.
characters like Goku and stuff like that, but like back in like nowadays, it's turning into like more like you're seeing like a handful of shells, and we'll get into that later. You're seeing a handful of
Hold on.
characters that are coming
X
more
Kyrie.
prominent.
Hold on. Sorry about that, guys.
no, you
No,
good.
you're good. No, you're good, man. But yeah, you're seeing a ton of characters that are coming in more like prominent. Like you'll obviously see more of like a beam, but like back in the day, if you weren't playing Vegeta, like you weren't doing nothing unless you were playing old school Yamcha, which only like a handful of people were playing. I was one of them.
Yeah.
And like, but yeah, how do you feel about Nappa in season two
All right.
now?
So season two Nappa, they gave him consistent anywhere on the screen, like solo combo routes. So he no longer just gets light on mid screen. He gets decent routes and even like full corner carry if you can do the hard combos.
Right,
Um, his armor always has the maximum reward you can get no matter how it hits. Before only on counter hit did you get a follow up, and the follow ups were bad. Like all he got was like a heavily scaled literally the best thing you could do off of his counter hit combo was like auto combo or something or DR. So he gets full combos off of any hit with his super armor counter. Uh, but also the counter itself. So here's the thing: season one, that counter was actually bullshit. It had 3 frame startup on the armor.
that
So
sucks.
think about that. How many situations can you just throw out that move? Like almost any.
A lot. I remember
Yeah.
you playing Yinja. Because I remember we were crew battle. We were crew battling. Well, the second time we were, but the first time it was the money match against Yinja, your second one, not an Evo. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember you throw out the armor like 2 or 3 times, and Yin like looked like he was reeling back in his chair when he kept getting hit by it.
Okay, so not only that, the armor is -2. Used to be -2 on block. So think about that. It was -2 on block, and then 3 frame startup.
So it's safe.
Even if you had a
Yup.
6 frame jab, even if you had a 16 jab, it didn't matter. He can just do it over and over.
I
That was actually broken. It was kind of it's kind of it means that they know enough about the character to fix that. But
yeah.
I feel like they missed all the things that he needed. I mean, to be honest, for me, because I have like every situation down with Nappa, I feel like even the changes that were intended to give him consistency, it didn't really make my Nappa any more consistent. If anything, it literally just nerfed my Nappa.
Because it took
Like,
away some situations where you had better options before.
yeah, like the armor specifically, that's one of them. There was a change to Cyberman, the spit. It so here's what they did. They made spit always have maximum hit stun no matter where in the combo you are, which means on paper he gets more combos, right?
Right.
And he does. He gets way longer combos than he used to for the most part. But the problem is it ruins his restand. So if everybody remembers here, Gotenks assist used to recent like make you stand back on the ground when you get hit by it.
Yeah, it would restand you.
Nappa Cyberman used to do the same thing,
I remember that.
just like Majin Buu. Like it's the same thing, except he can do it. When it happens, depending on how you do it, you immediately get a ambiguous 50-50 or better mix up if you're mid screen. Immediately get a 50-50, and then if the 50-50 fails, Cyberman does his grab, the explosion, and then you get one more. I mean, your turn still continues after that after Cyberman. So because of the spit nerf, now it almost always combos into the thoughts, which means he doesn't get those mix-ups anymore. And that was a really fun part about him for me because uh, because I was already doing before patch, I was doing 5K on any hit. Like after patch, he basically no matter like how shitty your combo route is, he gets 5K almost. But you like optimized combos before patch, he got 5K on it on any given hit, and then he got a restand into a really fucked up mix up. Well, messed up mix up. Sorry guys. He got a
Nah,
really
it's
messed
cool.
up. He got a really messed up mix up, and then on top of that, he still got his turn because the Cybermen covered the mix up after. And then your assists start regenerating the moment they get restand. That's gone too. Instead, what they did was they give you EX Cyberman now, which you can choose which attacks the Cyberman does by pressing up to 4 buttons after
Yeah.
when you do
I
it.
like that. I
So it's
really
like a Secret Garden Familia, basically. You can choose what happens, and then about that gives him some of his old mix-ups back. Some of them they're not on paper they're stronger, but they're so much harder to execute now. And although I do have decent execution on certain ones,
Yeah.
in the heat sometimes you'll mess up and then they get to jump out. That's another thing about his old mix-ups. I mean his old restands because they were technically airborne while still being grounded. All right, so here's the way it works. It marks them when they get restand and they're out of hit stun. They're marked as being airborne, but they're able to do. Okay, they're marked as being grounded, but because their Y position isn't all the way on the ground, they can't do any air actions. They can't even do ground actions even actually. Besides the only thing they can
Interesting.
do is the only thing they can do is certain. They can do certain air actions. They can't do ground actions. So against certain characters, it removes. Against most characters, actually, it removes their ability to reversal when they get restand.
Oh,
You can't.
because
They
since
can't
they're not
reflect.
grounded, they can't level 3 for a lot of
They can't.
characters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They can't reflect. They can't. They can't reversal. They can't do any level threes. Nothing. They have to take the mix
Wow.
up.
that's
Um,
actually
as a matter of fact, if you do it right, they can't even spark because spark has a minimum height restriction. So you can't even spark. You have to take the mix up. If you try to,
yes.
if you try to up back, if you tried to up back then, you got unblockable by slide. Now, now, oh, there was another thing. I put a video of this. I kind of wanted to. Damn, I should have prepared that. But there was another glitch related.
Yeah.
You can do air stuff, but because of the glitch state you're in, anything you do, it'll apply the downward momentum as the game tries to drag you down to the ground because it thinks you're grounded. So what happens is if you try to do certain cinematic moves like air level threes,
Yeah.
it does the freeze, but they land their animation gets canceled by landing during the super pause.
Wait,
So
so they'll
it
start
causes
out what? And then
yeah
it'll...
during during the time when the screen is frozen, they land cancel, and it all kinds of glitchiness can happen. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like the Marvel 2 like weird glitches in that, but it's literally stuff like that happened back then, and I think that's why they fixed it.
This is some like truly forbidden stuff. I have
It
never.
was.
What?
It actually was. Hold on. I don't.
Bruh.
Do I have this like on deck?
Oh
I don't
my-
even know you can play videos on stream, but I'm gonna link it at the very least.
Yeah.
Here, send it to me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is like actually forbidden.
I'm just gonna.
I participate in this
sit like
game.
this for the entire time. So I'm just like, bruh.
Like I watch a lot of DBZ and like and read a lot of tag stuff. I have never heard of this like bizarre mixed state before. This is a first for me.
It's incredibly rare. It's because there's only a couple things in the game that did it. Gotenks Assist did it actually back then, but nobody broke the game down enough to figure out exactly what you can do with it.
Figure out what it was actually doing.
Yeah.
And I think that actually kind of segues really well into, like, obviously you're known for Nappa. You may not have wanted to take that title at the very beginning, but when I hear Nappa, you're the player who first and foremost comes to my mind, not only in terms of, like, tournament play, but also in terms of labbing.
Yeah.
And you are one of the greatest lab monsters for DBFZ. I don't think anyone would dispute that. The amount of tech that you have contributed and kind of situations that you've explained or come up with explanations for is just like absolutely phenomenal. And part of what I wanted to talk about today, how do you do it, Al? How do you like find these things?
So back in the day, no, dude, I'm just channeling the forefathers with that. So back in the day, do you remember like really old like 2001 era SRK?
No, I do not remember SRK from that era.
All right, so back in the day, they used to post all kinds of like technical articles on glitches in games, like the CBS1 throw glitch, the CBS2 roll cancel glitch. Back when they were first found, even Alpha 3 crouch cancel, when people first found out how to do that, they posted a full article on how to explain it. And you might not know this, but that knowing that information is that the same logic that causes the Alpha 3 crouch cancel is what caused Dante Quicksilver, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's actually how I found it.
So you took the previous, glitch explanations and then transferred it to a different game.
Yeah.
Wow, things really don't change.
But yeah. Alpha 3, it's that the Quicksilver glitch works exactly like Alpha 3 crouch cancels. You continue the way you keep yourself in the super free pause is by canceling, avoiding the neutral state by canceling into stuff over and over. So, and that's exactly how crouch cancel works. It's not even just crouch cancel. People just call it crouch cancel. You can walk cancel. You can crouch cancel. You can do other characters specific stuff as long as you don't go to standing or a full crouch, like full stand or full crouch.
Yeah,
you could continue crouch cancel infinites. But
wow.
Yeah, and the Dante glitch work exactly like that. So
I'd say we're able to one that, because that's one of the things, like, because every time I like scroll down my Twitter or whatever, there's always like a post from you, and it's always some like piece of tech or some random combo, but it's always I appreciate that you take time to explain things, because one of the things that kills me about Twitter is sometimes I'll see something and there'll be a video of it, and there's no explanation. There's nothing.
Wait, can I paste this in the Discord call?
Yeah, go ahead. Post it in the Discord call. That works too. Here we go.
I totally agree with that too. Like recently.
All right, here we go. Let's see this. Let me move this over. Oh,
what?
Hold on. Let's see if this wants to work for me.
But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of like tech like on Twitter, like they're not really explained, nor combo videos. Like the recent combo videos, I know you posted about it, Al, but Jay, did you see?
Wait, what? Sorry, I just watched the. I just showed the stream the video.
Oh no, I have to watch that on my own time. and
The
probably cry.
Okay, so I see exactly what you mean. Where Goku Black tries to go for the reversal level 3, and it
Yeah.
just cancels it.
And then he gets hit. He actually can't block. So
That's
that happens with a lot of supers. If they try to even if they do level 3, they still get hit a lot of the time.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Honest to God.
and it wastes their bar too.
I was gonna say,
another
yeah,
thing.
they don't get refunded if they get canceled out of it. So they just
Yeah.
spent 3 bar to get hit
Yeah,
unblockably.
that's not cool. Speaking of cool, like again, I brought up the 20XX combos.
Hmm.
The it, those are unheard of.
Wait, which one?
The one that the Krillin one, right? It starts with the Krillin
The
combo.
Gohan one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That like
that guy.
uses super dash
Have you
that
seen
late.
that guy has been like that since for the entirety that this game has been. Not
Yeah.
that guy, but the guy that makes those combo videos has been making combo videos of that caliber since this game came out. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen all of them, you should watch them all.
Yeah, those like him. I think it was like Kai Pearson. He's been putting out a lot of tech.
Yeah.
Now, and it kind of goes back to what we said before. Like, there's not a lot of explanation, but like, it's kind of like
He
open to
actually does
interpretation.
on Twitter. He does in Japanese. He doesn't speak English, so.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But he'll answer questions. He'll try to answer questions.
I need to. I'm gonna learn that just to swag on somebody one time in my entire life, and then I'm just gonna not ever do it again. It's like, how'd you do that? I'm just like, I don't know. It's happened. But yeah, no, but kind of switching gears now. Um, I don't know if you saw this, Al, and Jay, but Nokami, who was a guest of ours
Mm-hmm.
way back. It feels like forever ago, Jay. Since we had
Flo. It's been like a month.
Has it been?
Yes.
It doesn't feel like a month. That's why college. That's what college does to you.
You know, it's a different world, different world.
Yeah, but he posted like posted a good discussion. I kind of want to pose it to both of you guys. Who do you guys think are the best shells in the game?
I gotta think
Because
about that.
because that's been like a hot
Like
topic.
pure. Are we talking about pure effectiveness or characters that just go incredibly well together?
If you're down to these 2 characters, you have the best chance of winning.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who your 3rd character is. Like if you have
it
this
has
to fall back
there
on.
has to be a Gotenks and someone else. I can't really see it not being a Gotenks. Uh, it's not really Gotenks 16 because 16 can't full screen jail people into 16 can't full screen jail people into Gotenks, and that's a large way of making stuff happening with a Gotenks assist, and
Right.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I actually posted my list on my Twitter.
All right, so sorry, Gotenks or Yamcha. I feel like those two have some of the biggest comeback potential. I think although Yamcha's was nerfed, but Gotenks and someone though. I feel like
one shell that's
I almost want to say Bardock Gotenks.
Bardock Gotenks.
Although you don't see too much explicit stuff with them, they still work incredibly well together. The only no, they're not exactly perfect though. There's an issue. Gotenks gets garbage extensions with Bardock, but he gets good hit confirms, just not good extensions.
right.
So let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a hard question. I had to really think about that.
Yeah, it's crazy today. Like you saw, like I don't know if you saw, and like I clicked on the thread, and there was so many people talking. You had players like Alucard chiming in. I chimed in. Like a bunch of players chimed in on different things. My list was kind of based on like I didn't want to put the same like because like I knew obviously in my mind like Goku was clearly like one of the best characters and like Yamcha was one of the best characters, but I kind of wanted to switch it up and more have different characters like locked together. So one shell that I did really think was really strong is actually Vegito and Gotenks. I think they're really strong together. They enable each other. Um, Charles Vegito definitely debunked me, but I think that shell is really strong. Bardock Goku is obviously the clear cut like him like that shell or Piccolo Goku's a clear cut good shell. Gohan Yamcha, Trunks Yamcha is super underrated. Still, the only person I know that's playing that shell is LK. Like, I think Trunks Yamcha is ridiculous.
Trunks Yamcha is definitely very strong. So I was playing online a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I ran into somebody, and I was like, "Oh, that's LK's team. Oh, LK doesn't really play on PC. Whatever, right?" And so I started playing him. We played for like 2 hours. I'm like, "Wow, this guy's really, really insane." I'm like, "This can't be LK." Well, at April Annihilation, he reverse swept me with Yamcha, just a Yamcha against my whole team, and this guy sandbagged twice to it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, it was definitely LK," because I saw he was also playing a Majin Buu team recently. Trunks, especially now with the EX flip, is so much scarier. Now that he can when he steers himself ambiguously over the middle and throws out that overhead after being locked down by Yamcha, it's a 50-50.
No, yeah.
Like it's absolutely terrifying. The shell that I would actually throw out, and I know most people probably wouldn't agree with me. I actually think potentially Ginyu. Oh, we lost Yoshi there.
Keep going.
I would say Ginyu and Super Saiyan Vegeta.
That's also something like I did want to bring out too. I think that shell is super strong. I also I'm still holding strong to sell Vegeta after a year of it.
You're still holding strong with Cell Vegeta?
I think it's a super strong shell. I also like because you know what I mean. Like it's weird to talk about this net. Well, because again, we were talking this. I think we were talking this like before, like a little bit, and like even like off air, we were talking about like how like putting stock into the idea of having shells like kind of defining a game in a sense. So having that become a way to mitigate things.
Yeah.
And like
actually,
I don't know.
Actually, Philly Marauder put an interesting shell in here that I think is actually worth talking about. 21 SSJ Goku.
Right.
Do you think that 21 holds up in that kind of two character shell situation in kind of the same vein as these other characters?
No, I agree.
But I think there's a lot there. Also, hello chat. Thank you all for joining us. You are incredibly well appreciated. But no, I mean, I think this discussion around shells is really interesting because, as we all know, Marvel 3, especially towards the end of its lifespan, it became very, very shell-centric. Are you going to play Doom Morgan? Are you going to play Virgil, Zero May Cry, da-da-da-da-da, right? It became, how can I play the strongest shell and then have a strong character to add in on top of that, right?
Yep.
Do you think DBZ is going to reach that point where it's going to be you pick your shell and then you pick your third character?
No questions. I think it.
You think we are headed there?
I think it depends on your team. Like if it's super well rounded.
Yeah.
Like, listen, not to toot my own horn, but I think my team's really well rounded. My main team, not my.
Well, I mean, as long as you admit that Piccolo is in fact a little OD. No OS
I
out
think
here.
He's top 2. Nope. I still don't think he's top 1. You can hold. I can. Listen, man.
Chat. I put it. Chat. If you think that Piccolo is the best character in the game, put a 1 in chat. If you think Piccolo is not the best character in the game, put a 2 in chat. I'm curious to see what you guys think.
Hold on. Listen.
Oh, chat, please give it to him.
No, listen. Bardock's the best. Bardock's the best.
Rogueyoshi's internet went down?
Oh.
All right. Well,
okay, we'll hold on the fort until things go down. It's coming right back. Thank you so much, Kyrie. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for keeping us posted.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I think it's turning into a game where if you're not playing a really solid team, like across the board, you need to play a shell. One thing that is super important is like for instance for me, right? I was looking around for a sub team for like 2 weeks, right?
Right.
Give or take. And I was like, okay,
Ooh.
so I'm definitely playing Trunks Yamcha, but what else am I gonna play? Like, should I play Cell? I even almost played Blue Jita, Jay.
Why
I almost
didn't you?
because I thought about it and I realized um, Vegito rounds out Trunks Yamcha so well.
I agree. I like Vegito Trunks.
He, like, listen, like, and I was talking to I had a couple conversations with Charles Vegito about it. Because he's been like my mentor about the character.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, sorry about your mobile data.
yeah, that's an F. I feel that deeply. One thing that's hard about it is that like you're not gonna get those like you're gonna super optimal.
Right.
Like Vegito and Gotenks is super optimal. But you'll have those few shells that can work together, like a Vegito Trunks, in a way that it can create different mix-ups and different ideas. So I kind of agree what you made earlier about Ginyu Vegeta. Now, how do you feel about like Ginyu? Like, how do you feel about the other like shells? Like, what's another shell like would you bring to the table? Or do you think Bardock Goku is like unanimous like number one?
Um. Oh, Aller, you're back, my friend. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
Cool.
right,
Oh,
sick.
all right. There we go. All back up and running. I think Bardock's in an interesting spot. I think Bardock, as much grief as I give you, FloKey. The interesting thing about Piccolo, because the discussion it typically boils down to Piccolo Bardock for best character. When most people
Hey,
have this discussion, they're in one of two camps. Actually, for those of you in chat who said that Piccolo is not the best character, does anyone in chat think that Piccolo or Bardock is not the best character? That's another question that I'll pose to chat,
or
and
is
I'd
that
be kind of
just a
interested about.
unanimous across the board
Uh,
thing?
can I chime in on that?
Oh, absolutely, Al. Take it away, my man.
Welcome back.
Teen Gohan.
Whoa! Oh,
Wait. Can you say that character one more time for the people in the
please
back?
speak clearly into the mic.
Teen Gohan.
Wow. Okay, now you can't drop a statement like that. I want to hear the explanation. Hit us with it.
All right. If you haven't realized, he's basically another Bardock.
His auto
But-
combo does give Bardock
Not
S
just
vibes.
that, but 236L, 236M. The only thing is, you have to be a little more careful than Bardock by doing it if you don't have assist.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but if you have an assist, you can use it like a better lariat. Basically, they can't. So Bardock sometimes you can like air dash over lariat. You can't ever air dash over Teen Gohan lariat. If Teen Gohan lands the lariat, he actually gets a full combo off of it too.
I've been
which is
clipped
crazy.
by that move more than I care to admit, and every time
And
it
not
feels
only that,
bad.
You can stuff lariat. Almost every character in the game has a button that can stuff lariat.
Yeah.
Not just round start, but certain buttons they can just stick out preemptively. You can't. No button in the game that I've seen in my entire time of watching this game, will beat Teen Gohan 236L or M.
Well,
That's-
if you use something with head involved, can you beat it? Like, can you 2H it
I
after
don't even
frame
think.
4?
No, it's not 2Hable. It doesn't have error property.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well,
kind of like base Vegeta's rocket kick isn't 2Hable either in the same way. It doesn't have air property, even though it looks like it should.
I have definitely tried to. Oh, every time I play Gigantus, I try to 2H that move. I did not know that was not.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, you know what?
You gotta super it.
We're
You
out
have to
here.
super
We're out
it.
here learning right now. That's what it's about.
So Teen Gohan's the best character in the game, huh?
To me, yes. And
Wow. Are you,
I'm calling it right now. Go One had a struggle against a Singaporean Teen Gohan at the recent major there.
Yeah.
You can go watch that. I can't remember what the name of the major is,
was
but
it KSB?
no, not before that. The major in Singapore right before KSB. I can't remember what's the
God.
Gohan's name.
It's not
but-
Kmart, right?
No, he's from Singapore, not Japan. If you go on Go One's Twitter, he talks about him. But
That's wild.
he got a struggle versus that guy.
That's
He said he has a completely new opinion of Teen Gohan on his strength
Well,
and so on and so
I
forth.
remember Goichi's last last tier list he made, I remember it was at the start of the season 2 patch. He put he put Teen Gohan in A tier, like
Mhm.
right near the top. And I remember everyone said
I
he
don't
was
know if he has a best character. He might have him in S now. I wouldn't be surprised if he put him there now.
yeah, because I
But
remember putting it in A, and I remember everyone was like, "This is really bizarre. Why is he putting him here?"
No,
And
right, yeah.
this is before he just played this Teen Gohan. So if he says his opinion changed and Teen Gohan was
yeah,
already an A tier, there's literally only one place for him to go after that.
yeah.
That's wow. 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 Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, the character's been through. That character's also been through a lot. But like, he has. I feel like he's gotten the reverse Nappa, right? Where he had everything for a little bit, and then he lost a lot,
Hmm.
but then he came back from the dead.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if
He's,
y'all remember
some
Diamond Kid.
people argue that he's better than season one. I mean, no. Some people argue that he's still worse than season one, like beginning of season one. But in some ways, he's better.
Yeah, I think both, like, looking at both seasons now with certain characters, like, you can see like a clear difference, and there's sometimes where you have to blur that line.
Yeah.
Like, one character that kind of like is an example of that is the other Gohan, adult Gohan, right? Where like at one point during the season, like, he was like he's still not the favorite of the top tiers to play, but he was still always up there in some way, shape, or form. He just has to do things differently now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Gohan pre season one nerf patches in like I don't even know why people weren't just using him back.
Frames plus frames should never be over 5 in my opinion. That shouldn't be he was plus 17.
But
Why? Why was he plus 17?
He had hard knockdown on his on any of his B&B. That's another thing. He had hard knockdown on any B&B he did.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I don't need to spend meter. Let me just take my hard knockdown real quick. And I think the thing about Teen Gohan is while I think the meta is also changed in a way that is more conducive for him. In terms of, I feel like at the very start of the game, everyone was kind of relying on long normals for the most part. In terms of the way the game was played, it felt like it very much hinged on, let me TOD with Cell, let me box you out, let me play my adult Gohans. Whereas now it's very much, let me get in, let me fuzzy you to death.
Yeah.
And Teen Gohan is really, really good at that. I mean, and the way play styles have evolved, Teen Gohan has always had the tools, but now people's play styles, I think, are evolving to the point where they can actually utilize what Teen Gohan is good at. Because I feel like early on, the way he would have been played wouldn't have really brought out his full potential.
Yeah.
Like, go back and watch like a month 3 tournament. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I'll go back and I'll watch old tournaments sometimes. It's wild. Like, it's really wild because, and like, even the top players at the time, they just, the difference a year makes in terms of how much people know what becomes available is just, it's night and day. It's just absolutely incredible. But Teen Gohan, Al, yeah, when I asked that question, that was not on the top of my head at all.
Honestly, I was expecting not like I was expecting something crazy like Super Saiyan Goku. Okay, that makes kind of sense. Teen Gohan, man. Well, I kind of want to move gears a little bit now. Since this is under the radar, we do cover a lot of like different scenes and stuff like that. And we kind of talk about like where people are from in terms of regions. You are from the city of Brotherly. You're from Pennsylvania. Talk to us a little bit about the scene out there, man.
All right, so Philly has a lot of good players scattered, and not just so we have local good players. Because we live so close to Jersey and New York, we get those guys to come to. So Jersey, New York, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, they all come out. Yeah, and because we have 3 majors a year here too, they come out for those a lot naturally too. I mean, well, everybody comes to them, but what else? As far as locals go, we have a monthly, somewhat regional, just because of how many like the people that come out, Maryland, New York, etc. They come out to go for broke, which is usually the last weekend of the month or the middle weekend of the month or something. And they run pretty much all the major games you'd expect. Dragon Ball is still pretty healthy. They average around 30 players to this day
Nice.
on the monthly.
That's solid.
Although our weekly and Hapro, we have a lot of different faces generally, but we average between we average like 10, 12 people for the bi-weeklies right now. But we haven't started doing a couple things. We haven't started doing a couple things that we plan to do as far as marketing goes. I don't even want to talk about it right now. But if you're familiar with the idea of like a Smash power ranking PR ladder or something,
Yes.
that's what we want to do.
Yeah, those are fun.
And it wouldn't even just ideally it wouldn't just involve the laboratory either, which is the bi-weekly place. It would involve other venues in the area. So Dragon Ball the Lab has the same core people always come. They're just hungry, so they always come. They always play. We have some really good players that come out, and in addition to the bi-weekly, there's also another monthly that's held at the laboratory that just started. It's called The Struggle, like the Kingdom Hearts reference, The Struggle.
Oh my god, no way!
Yeah.
Y'all did that?
When you go up as a crew, it's all aboard the struggle bus. Oh my goodness!
That is the best name I've literally ever thought of for a tournament. Because no one thought of it.
Where are you going this weekend to the struggle?
I'm going to the
That's godlike.
I'm going to the struggle tournament. The fuck? Like, if you didn't play Kingdom Hearts, like, oh my god. One thing though is that, like, kind of going back to what you said a little earlier about how Philly has so many players. You guys have so many like up and coming commentators. Two people that I know, Meza. I don't know him personally, but Meza, Kern, who I'm really good friends with. Shout outs to him. Like, he's been putting in mad work.
Kern did well at the struggle. He got second to Ian.
Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of like up and coming players and like commentators, and like I feel like Philly and like PA as a general. Another question I have is, do other parts of PA show up to these events, or is it all just like
they
all
do, but they tend to reserve for coming up during monthlies.
Okay, because I'm not that good at geography, even though I took 2 geography classes in college.
So Pittsburgh is 6 hours away. They'll come up for our monthlies, but they almost always come for majors. I try to visit the Pittsburgh locals every time I'm there because I have family in Pittsburgh too.
Oh, that's lit.
They have some really good players. Yeah, they have some really good players in Pittsburgh. Notably Silvezio.
Yeah.
I really want to see Silvezio go out to more things, but I'm not sure what's going on. But if he made a splash at every major he went to, and I told people he would, and he did. He hasn't taken one yet though, but let me see. So the other things about the Philly scene, we have a lot, although they're not as far as like they're not super active. We have a lot of strong players. As a matter of, I can name I can literally name 20 players who I can expect to break top 32 at like a major or something if they were to go out. But the problem is that a lot of them don't travel. So
will they go to the majors in Philly?
Yeah, a lot of the time they do. But actually, I can't say that they. Some of them do. Some of them don't really. They're not. They. A lot of them picked up other games. That's the main one. Like
okay.
Tag, Soul Calibur, etc. A lot of them did that. Yeah, but we have a core group that is still playing to this day since season 1.
I think because I know you guys have Kern. Like I mentioned before, you have Kern. You have yourself. I know Rice Master. Shouts to Witch Doctor.
Yeah. Rice Master. Let's talk about him for a second. He's his fundamentals. He just destroys. He destroys people. He exposes people who do not have like the really good game plans. Basically.
He blew up good. Lowry at April Annihilation. That set, I was cackling. Lowry bodied me on stream, and then he got beat up by Rice Master. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like Lowry's the homie though. Shout out to Lowry.
Also, I'm not speaking on Lowry because I'm not gonna say he doesn't, but I'm just saying, Rice is really good at. He's patient enough. He's lame enough.
He'll wait you out.
He's a Street Fighter player, so
he'll just kind of wait for you to make a mistake and then capitalize on it.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. Like, people aren't lame enough, and I feel like people would be a lot more consistent if they were a little more lamer. Like,
right. How is the character variety out in PA? Like, is it like vast? Is it kind of like you see the same handful of characters? Or is it like just
okay? We have our tier whores here, no doubt.
okay?
That's important though. You got to have those people in the seat.
Have like at least two. Of those.
Yep, you got to have
two of those.
But no, he's a good tier whore. He presses the right buttons. The only thing I need to tell him, he needs to stop relying on his character's tools, his point character's tools as much, and just let his assist do the work for him, more work for him. Like, he'll save his assists like during neutral or scrambles, and I feel like he should just use them there. But
But yeah, you got your tier horse. You got like
we have tier horse, but we also have. I can't even think offhand. Like, the only characters we don't see, like, literally don't have here are the really, really, really unpopular ones.
Majin Buu?
17. No, we have Majin Buu.
Okay.
We don't have 17. We don't have Krillin. We have literally everybody else. There's no 17, no Krillin.
Wow.
Yeah. That's actually a really deep pool.
I thought about playing 17 for a while too.
It's good.
But season 2 happened. I was set to pick up I was straight set to pick up 17 right before season 2 happened. And I know he got buffed, but I saw the potential when I went and played the 17 out in Maryland at Xanadu. Oh god. Although, like, he was pretty good. If you were I'm sure you can find VODs of him if you look at the VG boot camp or something for the Dragon Ball.
Jay,
Or
who's the Maryland 17?
I don't know. They must have traveled for the event. We don't have a local 17.
Dang it.
So they definitely traveled for the event.
Okay, yeah. He might be. Yeah, he might. I think he might be from Chicago.
Yeah, because I'm thinking back.
He was there the time I was there, and he surprised me. Although I was ready for that, but he still surprised me.
Yeah.
No, I was ready. I was ready for what 17 can do, but he still he showed me that you really, really, really have to respect 17. You have to respect somebody who has really good reactions to just throw out counter.
Yeah,
and like not just that. The fact that he can throw out that super fast counter during anything and call assists to make himself safer plus is just insane.
Yeah,
like he can it's crazy, dude. And not only that, just because throws are slow, he can just throw out counter and call assists behind it, and you can't punish him.
Right.
Like, you swing, you're in a cutscene into a combo.
So if you try to Dragon Rush him after he whiffs.
Yeah, no. If he does it and you try to Dragon Rush, your Dragon Rush just isn't going to be fast enough. It's going to lose to an assist or something.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big thing about this game. The fact that Dragon Rushes are as slow as they are, like they work at competitive level, but the side effect of not having fast throws, like 3, 2, 1, 0 frame throws, is prevalent. There's so many situations where you can just block and call assist, or do some, or you can literally just block and call assist, and you can't do anything about it. Like, I don't know if that was an intended part of the game. I doubt it, but I don't know. I mean, it's not as bad as it could be, because if it were like Marvel and there wasn't an assist cooldown, then it would be grossly obvious. But
if it literally played like Marvel, where there was no assist cooldown, dude, if I can be real with the Under the Radar podcast real quick, as much as I want this game to be Marvel, I don't want it to be Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, all right, so at neutral, I wouldn't mind no assist cooldown. I like that about BB Tech. I like that you can use your. I like that about BB Tech. I like that you get to use your assist at neutral, like at will.
Right.
And in that game, there's huge punishments for misusing your assist. In Dragon Ball, there actually are huge punishments, but they're just not meta. People aren't using it. I don't know why. Like if anybody has a Yamcha on their team, they can just straight super and DAC into Yamcha and kill an assist, or just straight super with Yamcha and kill an
Yeah,
assist.
Yamcha's damage against assist is like absolutely insane.
They literally
Yamcha
die.
the
There's
cowboy.
no damage scaling on the hits of his super against assist. So
Oh,
if they call assist and that assist whiffs and they want to kill that assist, they can just super it. They can
Yeah.
DAC. But it's not meta. I don't know why people are doing it. I keep telling people to do it, and I'm not seeing it. So
Yeah. Actually, I was playing today with I ended up I was playing a little bit of net play with my sub team, and I ended up like the dude guard canceled. I immediately spirit balled. I was invincible during the entirety of his guard cancel, and I killed him
mhm.
for it.
Yes, well, supers uh a few frames before the super flash happens, or sometimes even after, they're invincible for a while. So
Is that just a universal thing or just
yeah,
Yamcha?
it's universal.
Really?
So wait, you
Yeah.
can punish. Can you consistently punish guard cancel with super?
Yes, you can. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if like so here's something. If somebody what's a good situation? Like let's say Gotenks has 4 bars and he does EX Beyblade. If you guard cancel any hit of, well, no, that's level 3. What's a better example? There's a better example. Oh, Goku. Let's say Goku does Kamehameha and you guard cancel it.
Yeah.
Normally it would hit Goku, but they can just do late level 1 and just beat the guard cancel.
Yeah, with
They
like
can't do any. There's nothing else they can do except beside level 3. But they only have 1 bar. Vanish won't beat the guard cancel, obviously.
Yeah.
But late level 1 will just straight beat it.
So you think that might be like that's something that like because I that popped up today and I was like it's something I had to think about because
That's another thing. It's a hard counter, but it's not meta.
it's not because like again
Yeah.
you have to burn a bar versus like
I mean, it's not a bad thing either. Like you can burn that bar and dude. So landing raw supers, I don't know if you notice how much damage you do. You're
it's
taking like 30.
ridiculous.
You're taking 35% damage, and if you started with a raw super and you just DAC twice, they're like 70-80% is gone. 3 bars.
Yeah, like especially because like I think Yamcha is like a really good example of that
Yeah.
because of the fact that like his controls you can control it to where like it can move in a direction where it readjusts. So like if you see if it's like in the scenario I had today where it was like the person it was like 1v1 dude guard cancels,
Yep.
I can literally hit him from the back and not feel like I have to worry about it versus like maybe if I play like Piccolo for example, right? I have to literally guess, hold the button and then do that. But yeah, again, it's like not meta, so it's kind of like it's something like in those odd situations. Also, guys, in chat, if you guys have any questions for the panel, myself, Jay, or Rogueyoshi, please let us know. I am peeping at the chat from
Yeah.
time to time. So
So actually, I was actually curious. Since your scene has basically every character, who
Mhm.
is your Ginyu player, or is it? Do you guys just borrow L, or well, I would say the art formerly borrow LK?
I was counting him.
that's OD.
I was counting him for that. But although he doesn't use them that much anymore.
No, he's
So all right, I don't. Have you ever? Do you know OK's opinion of Ginyu?
yeah. I have talked to him several times about Ginyu. He loves that character, but he doesn't think the character can win a major.
But did you hear his recent opinion? I mean, I agree with this too.
Okay,
If you
no,
play
hit me with
if
it.
you play Ginyu like you're supposed to, you're basically immune to nuts. Like you just get out of pools for free basically, unless you have a unlucky bracket or something.
I will admit, when I played April Annihilation, the difference between my opponents who knew what Ginyu did and the difference between my opponents who didn't know what Ginyu did was like night and day. Like most, like people don't, a lot of people don't realize if you call grounded birder, while you're falling, he'll then appear right behind them and push them out of the corner, and you can steal it and stuff like that. But a lot of people just don't know how to approach in this game. It's something I've just kind of noticed, and Ginyu really makes that more pronounced.
Well, yeah. If Ginyu, well, that's the thing. Ginyu basically wins neutral by getting in or getting away. And
Yeah, it's
so,
it's
and
really
no other
nice.
character wins neutral by successfully getting away. He does.
That's how it be, bro. That's truly how it
So
be.
basically, I always said this from the beginning. Ginyu is basically just like the Marvel 2 Storm of the game. She wins getting away. She wins getting in.
That actually makes sense. That's
Yeah.
like it's kind of crazy. Like I've been making like weird analogies about this game recently. I forget the last one I made, but like this game is turning into more of like you can relate it back to like something you've seen in the past, like the Storm or like Marvel 2 Storm. Like for me, it was one thing that I kind of bring up from time to time is the idea of like shells in Marvel. Like again, shells in Marvel 3. Like you're seeing like Doom Virgil. Like I think, and this might be a little bit long shot. I'm starting to feel like Bardock Goku or like something like that like is becoming like the Doom Virgil almost, right? Like because you're seeing that
I
light
mean, I
up.
think it's popular and it's effective, but I don't think they have special synergy. Like
They're
they
not
aren't
like
doing anything like okay, Bardock doesn't need to be enabled by Goku. It enhances him a lot, like a decent amount. Goku basically doesn't get enhanced. Like Bardock's the one getting the most out of that. Funnily enough, but Bardock doesn't also need it. Like Goku with a Bardock assist is not.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you,
nothing notable there, but
do you think is there? Do you think like we're getting to the point now we're getting a potential Doom Virgil shell, or do you think like the game still like needs some time to develop? Because
No, it's still developing because it's still a lot of it definitely is still developing at international level. It's developing
Yeah.
at national level. It's developing at local level. People,
like
they're like I mentioned like three things already on this podcast that aren't widespread and they're hard counters to things that people do, and it's still not adopted. Like when all these things get adopted, then we can say that the game is definitely going this way. But not everybody is doing everything. Not everybody's taking notes of everything that is possible. Not everybody is even leveling out like only certain players. There's only a handful of players who look at every situation that's possible. That will look at mostly every situation that commonly comes up and has answers for everything, like several layers of answer for everything. The ones that are the ones like the most consistent ones right now, and
okay,
yeah, that's a big thing. Like I still learn new things. Like I still learn new things all the time. Like
yeah,
new application. Like I watched one Fighting Tuesday after not watching it. No, not Fighting Tuesday. Cyclops Weekly. I
Yep.
watched one Cyclops Weekly, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the past, and I learned literally two new things about Gotenks since the changes that I didn't realize because of the changes. And then not only that, like just last week, people found new, like completely new combos for Gotenks, like M Beyblade land auto combo into Donut, and like
that's so good.
his damage off of that and the meter gain and everything is like the best that he gets now, basically. Um, so there's nobody is optimal yet. Like
That makes sense.
yeah, like and a big thing is like my entire game is like almost based around like super jumping, like super jump air drift, super jump fast fall, and nobody's only certain people are adopting it. I noticed Japan started adopting it, and I'm now after seeing KVO. I watched KVO top four,
Yeah.
and I saw that they're using super jump the way they should be using it, and they definitely weren't not too long ago. The last time I really tuned into Japanese gameplay was like months ago, maybe December. World Tour, yeah, around
Yeah.
the time of World Tour is the last time I watched any Japanese Dragon Ball.
Actually,
But
explain that a little bit more. I kind of want to hear more about this super jump usage. Like, what are people missing about this option?
Yeah.
super jump, it gives you all right. If all right, let's put it this way: somebody that knows how to use super jump and dash momentum and all that is basically playing. All right, I someone that knows how to use those things
Yeah.
versus someone who doesn't is basically playing. What's the best analog here? Uh, it's basically trying to play Marvel 3 as a Magneto who doesn't know how to try jump or or plink dash or wave dash.
So they
and
don't know, they don't
air
even
wave
know
dash.
how to move.
They're literally playing a different game if they're not doing that. If they're not using super jump.
That's
Because
wild.
all right, so the reason why super jump doesn't have extra startup frames in this game. It
Okay.
almost every and I'll tell you why that's important. Almost every game where super jump lets you change your character's jump momentum
Yeah.
mid jump, and even not just the forward and back momentum. In this game, you can change the up and down momentum. You can float really slowly to the ground. You can instantly go to the ground almost. And every game that I played besides Dragon Ball and Arcana Heart, they add like 8 frames of startup to super jump. And this game is the same. So there's literally every single time I enter the air,
Yeah.
it's always a super jump. There's no reason not to do it. It's kind of like I don't know if you play Guilty Gear. It's kind of like how Guilty Gear players don't summon Eddie with any button other than what is it H, I think. Yeah, they always do H summon to summon Eddie, because you know how when you do punch summon, he little Eddie comes out and he does the little poke, and then if you do everything like if you summon Eddie with the other buttons, he does his attacks when he comes out. If you do it with the H button, he does nothing when he comes out, but he's able to act on frame 1. So you can just summon Eddie and then react and press the button after you do it. That's the kind of analog them. So yeah. So it's the same kind of thing. You can, whenever you enter the air, instead of just entering the air with a normal jump, you can super jump. And if you super jump and fast fall the moment you enter the air, you have the same vertical momentum as a normal jump. You cover the exact same space in almost the exact same angle.
So what? Just super jump and then immediately tap down?
Hold down.
Hold down.
Yeah. But the thing is, it makes your normal jumps into a mix. It makes it makes your movement into a mix up itself, because super jump, it lets you make unfuzzy. Well, all right. So I'm not. There's 2 ways that people describe not describe. The term fuzzy is used in 2 different ways erroneously.
Okay.
One is the like when you're blocking something and they make you block something in one guard stance and you're stuck for the next attack.
Yeah.
That's one way that people use it. There's another term that people use for mostly 3D fighters, is when you have a mix up, like a high-low mix up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the point of the mix up, like during the string, the high and low hits on different frames. So you can block that mix up by blocking one way by default and then blocking to the other. And I actually advocated they call that default blocking instead of fuzzy blocking. But all right, so I'm gonna call it default blocking. So
you know what? That works.
Yeah,
That
default
works.
blocking. If you enter the air with a super jump and you come down,
Yeah.
and you let go of down, you suddenly return to your normal jump momentum. So that means if you hold,
really,
that means if you, all right, let's say you super jump and hold down and
Yeah.
come down, you land at the same time as the normal jump.
Okay.
And let's say you empty low from that, right? So you empty low. We're gonna say you this is way too many frames. We'll say you do a 27 frame low. So if you do the same thing and you come down with a high, you're gonna hit sooner than you would hit the ground. We'll say you hit frame 20 high, but if you do that and then you let go at low,
Right.
you land later, so you can actually on frame 25, and they can't default block both of the options.
So they have to. Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
But that's only possible if you super jump.
Yes, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why people started doing super jump instant air dash instead of normal instant air dash in strings.
Because they can't default. They can't default block the high low.
Yes.
That's kind of OD.
Yeah. And that's a huge secret to opening people up in this game. If you have mix-ups that can't be default blocked, then you instantly become you're instantly on another tier as a player. Like not, I mean, I don't like, yeah, you basically instantly become another tier as a player. I'm not gonna comment on whether it's artificially another tier or not, but
Right.
if you have mix-ups that are fast and cannot be fuzzy like default blocked, then you're literally getting, as long as you mix up the options well, you're literally getting damage most of the time. I mean, like half the time at least when you attempt a mix up.
Because a lot of people, the one thing that I've noticed, I do a lot of commentary, and with April Annihilation, one of the things I'm noticing, a lot of people are very, very passive on defense in this game.
They are.
like I see very few. There are a lot of times where in high level play, mid level play. I mean, it seems to be across the board, regardless. A lot of people don't take their turn when they should, and
A lot of people don't, but at the highest level, uh, there's a reason why Go ET is so consistent. He he doesn't he throws away that concept of taking your turn when he should.
he doesn't
Because
need it.
all right, so his all right, Go ET is still human.
Yeah.
He does not consistently block the non default blockable mix ups. Nobody does basically because it's like if it's a 13 frame high and 13 frame low, like that's crazy. Like that's absolutely ridiculous to think that you can react to it. You know, but literally every other situation in the game, if your mix up is not one of those completely ambiguous fast ones, he's going to block it. He's going to attack. He's so confident in his ability to defend. He will not take he will not just take a straight opportunity to swing when it might be obvious to someone else.
Yeah.
He'll continue to block a lot of the time if he knows that they can't do one of those kinds of mix-ups to open them up.
Because if he can't be opened up, he doesn't want to expose himself to the risk.
They have to take bigger risks to get in.
Okay.
And then that's when he swings. And that's the way I'd try to play now too. Like they like yeah, if you can take literally every mix up but those, then the most important thing that is becoming you basically only have to take those super ambiguous mix ups when you lose neutral and they have assists. So you can just aim on perfecting your neutral or making them waste their assists to get in, and then make the match way easier for you.
Right, because if they spend both assists to get in, there's really not that much you have to fear.
They have to do unsafe extensions or pressure resets to get their assists back. They have. Yeah, that's something people don't recognize. Everybody complains about pressure in this game, but you have to do an unsafe. Not even. You have to do. There has to be a gap.
Yes.
They have to do, for the most part, they have to do something unsafe to do a pressure reset for the most part.
Right.
There's situations where you can create like one, 2, 3, 4, 5 frame gaps and start regenerating your assists. But for the most part, if you know, like if you have a read on that, you won't get a punish on it if it's a small enough gap, but you get out. Like you can move, you can reflect, you can do something. And that's another thing. Instead of taking your turn with a button, more people just need to take their turn.
Movement.
Not directly take their like movement. Just get out of the way. Like, but you also can't be obvious. The thing about jump, it's faster startup than any. It's 4 frame startup. So if you know that they have a 4 frame gap in their pressure, at least you can just jump instead of trying to risk the 6 or 7 frame gap to swing.
Yeah.
But you can't hold out back because those 4 frames are completely vulnerable. And if you air block, then you're in a worse situation. They get the extra 4 frames of blocks on. So
is that so? It's an extra 4 frames.
Yeah.
For aerial.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, patience is the key. Like, if you're playing this game, you have to work on getting your consistency up to a point where those players have it. Like, because it's possible. There's nothing that Goichi does defense wise that is not humanly possible.
Right.
Like I feel like the way he plays exposes like not exposes, but if your defense isn't as consistent as him, then I feel like there's a problem. Like and I still feel like there's a problem like with mine, because sometimes I'm still tempted, because I'm still tempted to do certain extensions, not extensions, but certain challenges, when if I had just called just blocked or just blocked and called assist, I would be fine. It's getting rarer and rarer, but it still happens. It's not acceptable that it happens, because as long as it still happens, I'll never be at the level of Goichi. Or
what do you do against
somebody like
what do
them.
you do against 6M? Personally, what is your
against
philosophy when you get 6M'd?
Yeah, that's a really good
If
question.
you, if you block if you blocked 6M or you
Yes.
got hit by 6M.
If you block 6M, what is your action?
It's it. All right, so it depends on the
They
situation.
have assists up.
All right, let's say we'll say that they're Bardock. They
Yeah.
6M you. We'll say it's a Bardock mirror match actually. So the options that can happen, they can just swing. You can both swing. This is a clash. Bardock, it's hard. All right, so Bardock cannot. It's hard for the either Bardock. Like, let's say your corner, you can't make their next follow up whiff. It's even because it's 6M and they're point blank.
Yeah.
They can't make. They cannot. They can make your stuff whiff, like your follow up whiff, after making you block the 6M. But unless they take a risk, they cannot whiff punish you on reaction.
Right.
For the most part, they have to take a risk to whiff punish you. I mean, no, that's not true. Depending on the button you swing with, a lot of the times they can't. Certain 5Ls, like let's say you counter poke with another character's 5L that has a little more recovery,
Yeah.
and they backdash in that situation, and they saw that L, you're getting lariated.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, Bardock mirror match, that's another thing. You have to know your options in matchups. So Bardock mirror matches, Bardock can swing against another Bardock in that situation.
Right.
That's
Identical
That's
options.
his privilege. Yeah.
Bardock privilege.
Bardock privilege. Yes.
Bardock privilege.
Yes. So after you block a 6M, you might not believe it. Let's say even if you block that 6M mid screen,
Yeah.
and you're both 0, you're still at a disadvantage. Do you know why?
Wow.
Let's say they didn't even call assist. Then.
Okay, so they haven't
say
called
they
it.
did
So
not call
I got
assist
6M.
during the 6M.
We're 0. So all right.
They
So
didn't call assist.
you know what? Is it okay? Is it because they're gonna know what option they're gonna commit to before me, and that
No, not even. Not even. It's a system mechanic, actually. I'll let you think about what system mechanic it is. It's a system change, rather. There was a system change in a certain situation. Let's just say you block 6M.
Yeah.
You're both 0. You're in the middle of the screen. What happens? Like, what can't you do that they can do?
Hit jab.
No, because we can hit jab too.
You can both hit jab.
We can both hit jab, but we're at a disadvantage. Oh man, you're about to rewrite something on me right here, because I can't.
What can't you do that they can do after making you block 6M?
Backdash?
You can both backdash.
No, it's true.
Vanish?
Yeah, because if he goes to swing, no, I can still backdash.
Mm-hmm.
Can you vanish?
You can both vanish. There's literally one hard thing that you can't do.
Super? No, it's not super dash. Oh god, what
you
is
want me to
it?
spoil it? You can't call assist. They
Oh.
can because there's an assist lockout. So in those situations where you're 0,
That's dumb as fuck.
you can literally the offender can literally do certain things with the assist that you can't do. They can block and call assist.
Yeah.
Naturally, but that only works if their assist goes out further behind them than most assists, right?
Right, because otherwise the assist will get hit if you choose to
Something
jab.
crazy. All right, so they can do there's option selects that they can do that you can't with the assist. As a matter of fact, this is something nerfed in the game that I used to do I literally did this every single time I woke up, every single time there was even if I was minus 6, I was doing this option select on block. Like
Okay.
if I block something, reflect assist option select or level 3 assist option select. There's literally nothing you can do about it. So back before they changed the assist nerf, any moment that you were at minus but you weren't jailed, you can input negative edge assist and reflect. Do you know what happens if you do that?
Oh, it's gonna so it's gonna OS at that point, right? It's
Yeah. Do you know how it works? What happens when you do it?
Oh man.
He's quizzing you.
I'm learning. I feel like I'm in school. I'm learning right now.
I just DP. I'm gonna be honest. I just DP.
You just DP? Oh, I don't have that luxury. I play Ginyu. Okay.
Even Ginyu can do this. But listen, if you have if you have a fast enough assist, which most people do,
Yeah.
especially if you play Yamcha. Let's say you have all right, we'll take a Bardock in that situation. Bardock Yamcha shell.
Yep.
6M. They 6M you. They can do Reflect OS.
Whoa.
So basically, they input Reflect and negative edge assist. If you swing, they get a Reflect that is guaranteed to reflect whatever hit you did, any button you did, including a 5L. If you don't swing, they do a Reflect, and the whiff is perfectly covered by Yamcha assist.
Ooh. Okay, so if you're so it's going to be covered either way. That makes sense.
Yes, they're at an advantage either way. It's not just that they're covered. They're at an absolute advantage either way if they do it.
Okay.
If they do that option select.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, and they hit the assist. The assist nerf didn't even come because of that. It was a side effect of the DP of trying to nerf DPs. If you remember.
Yeah, they were trying to nerf
remember that.
DP plus.
They were
assist.
trying to nerf DP out of block zone.
Yep.
So they did that, and it nerfed that OS on defense, but not on offense.
So on all, so if they have, now I get it. So if they 6M you, they have access to reflect fast assist, which will
It's not just reflect fast assist. It's a reflect opposite select. The assist does not come out if you swung. If you put them in proximity guard, no assist comes out.
Right. Okay, that makes actual sense.
The opposite select works off of proximity guard. So if they would guard something,
yes,
if they're about to guard something, assist doesn't come out. They get a 100% guaranteed successful reflect. If you don't swing, assist comes out. Mm-hmm. If you try to throw and counter the reflect, Yamcha comes out too fast for the throw to come out.
Oh man, there are so many levels to this. This is the kind of stuff, and like kind of what you talked about not too long ago, where you're talking about how people are getting to the point now where we're like, oh, well, have we seen what the final version of the game's kind of gonna look like?
Nobody knows what the final version of the game is right now.
Yeah, but this literally in this conversation.
Yeah,
and I try to be a student of the game. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm a commentator and player. But even just in this conversation, these are things that I never fully understood. I may have seen them before. I probably have seen these things dozens, hundreds of times possibly with as much as I play. But I never understood the mechanics behind this. And I think a lot of players, even at that mid, even upper level, may not understand exactly how these things work, even if they understand that they work.
Like the super jump thing is definitely something that
I'm trying to give you example. Like all night, I've been trying to give you example of things that are actually effective, though not infallible. Although the Reflect OS is actually close to it. It's actually super broken, and people were not abusing it. I kept talking on Twitter about how broken it was. Well, then one day, a patch hits it as it was what's the term? It was a side effect of that patch. Collateral damage.
Unintended consequence.
Unintended fix.
Yeah.
And it didn't even fix it because there's two situations in which you can still use it. You can use it on offense when you have if you do. Not only that, hold on. I'm gonna give you an even better example of when to use it. Let's say you're Bardock. Say you're Bardock and you lariat. Everyone knows that you can just swing after lariat, right?
Yeah.
It's your turn now if they make you block.
Right, because they're -1.
They can use that OS there.
Really?
And you can't do anything. And it's almost strictly better than doing lariat plus assist. Because you get punish opportunities and you get confirmation opportunities on the punishes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna start doing that.
So in all of those situations, and so many situations where you have slightly negative pokes or something like that.
Yeah.
Your turn still continues, and they can't. Their turn doesn't, because you can literally throw out an almost unbeatable option that they cannot do anything against.
Okay, so let me make sure that I understand.
All right, I don't even think if I remember correctly, Yeah, there's no throw. There's no throw whatsoever in the game besides the level 3 throws. The level 3 throws are the only hard counter to that option select.
Right,
There's
and
nothing else
there's
in
only
the
a
game.
handful in the game. You've
There's
got
nothing
yeah.
else in the game that leads to them getting out on top in that situation, or even a lot of the time at neutral.
All right.
Like,
So what are my physical inputs as I'm doing this? So
you
I've done my
all right,
lariat.
so let's say you're starting. You start from 1. You start from 1.
Okay.
You really you all right. You're doing their blocks. All right, no, you can't really do it on block. But like, let's say you're about to you just did something minus.
I
You
did
start
my
from-
lariat.
You did your lariat. You hold assist during the lariat. Not like during the end of the lariat. You go 1. You go to 1. You release assist, and then you go to 4 and hit S on the same frame that you hit 4. It doesn't have to be the exact same frame, but the closer you do it, it you ideally want to do it 1 frame after you negative edge the assist.
Wow.
All right. So
That's
you're
a
holding
lot.
assist. You move the position to 1. You release
You
the
let
assist
go.
button, which you were holding from near the end of lariat.
Yeah.
You
and
move
then
to the 4 position,
Uh-huh.
and then you hit S.
Yeah.
And this is now. Do you hit S right when you release the assist?
Yes. You want to release you want to release it you want to release assist, and then 1 frame later hit you want to release assist while you're holding a back direction, and then 1 frame later hit 4S.
Okay.
That is
Like as fast like if you can do it, it's most effective when you can do it that way. You have leeway. You have a ton of leeway, but you only have as much leeway as their fastest attack would be in that situation.
right, which would be if they're not going to reversal level 3.
And if they
yeah.
throw you, then you have even less leeway than that, because your assist has to come out before the throw hits.
Oh, true. So if your assist isn't fast enough, it's not going to be able to cover you properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one example. And on offense, there's a similarly broken option select, hit stun option select. Japan Japan knew about the hit stun option select. They didn't. I found a version of this option select that nobody knew about. As a matter of fact, I think one person knew about it, and they didn't even know the fear. Like, they just had a fury that was in the game. I don't even think that they fully realized that it was possible.
Yeah.
I figured out how to do it. So I'll explain the hit stop option select right now.
Yeah.
So basically, when you do something, all right, let's say you do a normal. You can't really whiff cancel normals except auto combo, right? So
Right.
you can whiff cancel if you have a bar. You can whiff cancel in the vanish. So let's say let's say you connect with a normal during the hit or block stop. Let's say block stop. During the block stop of that normal, you can buffer whatever you want, right? Basically. But let's say you're playing Street Fighter or something. No, we'll use a Dragon Ball. Let's say you do 2M into 236L with Bardock, like, and they're not anywhere near you. What happens? Just 2M comes out, right?
Yeah.
If they blocked it, 236M comes out, right?
Right.
So what happens if you do 2M, 236L, and then hit vanish right after?
Got it.
What happens? Like, all right, let's say they're not anywhere near you. What happens?
If I do 236L.
Let's say you do 2M, then 236L, and then hit vanish. What happens? Like, if they're not anywhere near you.
Wouldn't the vanish just come out at that point?
That's right. The vanish will come out.
Yeah.
Nothing
Let's
else.
say you do that against them on block. What happens?
The whole string comes out.
If the 236L connects, you're not going to vanish.
No. All right. If the 2M connects.
Oh, if the 2M.
The 236L comes out, but not the vanish.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So the 236L is going to take precedence over the vanish.
Right. If you do it correctly, yes, it will take precedence.
Right.
But only if it connects.
So all right, now let's say yes, only if it connects. So let's say you do a stagger and you do that input. What happens? Let's say you do a stagger versus a Vegeta player, and you do that. Let's say you do 5M delay into 2M, and you do that input. What happens when they DP? You get advantage.
Oh, because it's not gonna connect. The two M will never connect, so it defaults to the vanish because they were
Yes.
invol.
Right, but
What?
if they block, you get lariat. You just get lariat.
Yep, that makes sense. Well, guys, unfortunately,
We're running out of time.
We actually
we're actually
we
over time.
actually ran over, but I was literally learning so much.
Okay.
Chat. I know you guys are probably learning. There's definitely gonna be some clips of this. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Honestly, Al, this is the kind of stuff I like want to see more of. Like just as somebody who like loves the game and just like discussing it and learning about it, like this is the kind of stuff that like do you have like tutorials on these things?
I post all the time. I'm gonna.
'Cause I've seen some of your Twitter and for everyone who is watching, if you want to see tech, you want to see breakdown, you want to see these sick OSs. Follow Rogueyoshi at his Twitter. It is on screen right now. Absolutely phenomenal stuff right here. Not just for Nappa, universal mechanics as well. So many incredible things.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're not going to rob you because we at the end of every podcast, there's no Q&A, but we will go straight to this. Al, we love to give everyone who comes on here a platform, and we like to give everyone a couple minutes. So anyone you want to shout out, things you want to plug, talk about, whatever. You got 4 minutes, man. Hit it.
All right, I want to acknowledge my esports team, Empire Arcadia. They've done an incredible amount for me over it's been almost a decade. I joined them in 2011, Marble Tree era. They sent me to many tournaments over the years. It was mostly during the Marble Tree era and then the early Dragon Ball era. Between that, I wasn't really active, but they supported me the entire way through both of these time periods, and so yeah, I'd like to acknowledge them, and I'd like to acknowledge my primary sponsor, Sector X, who sent me over the past year to pretty much every event that I've gone to, every major and regional event since they've taken me. I'd like to acknowledge Bros Calamity, who is the host for our local and also not just them, Bros Calamity and Nursery Gamers, local host, and the laboratory respectively.
Yeah.
I mean, not respectively, but yes, I want to acknowledge them for giving us a place that we can all come every other week or month and play together, and they do a lot for us. They give us like more than adequate stream and equipment, especially the equipment. Every setup is head to head at a local host for our
Wow.
monthly.
That's awesome.
That's really nice.
They have a top notch stream, sponsored by Comcast, etc. All that. Let's see. I'd like to acknowledge Kyrie Conti for running the events in Philly, especially like she runs the biweekly at the laboratory for us. Dragon Ball anime game biweekly, basically. Keeping it alive. And Jay Moose, of course, the owner of the laboratory. I'm wondering if anything else. Yeah, those are the people I want to boost right now.
Hey,
and then,
there you go.
For personally, I have my own coaching service for Dragon Ball. It's free. I offer free coaching during weeknights. Weeknights, except for tournament days. So you can just go on my site, rogueyoshi.com, and check out the esports page while you're there. So you can, if you're not that familiar with me, you can get an idea. Rogueyoshi.com / just go on rogueyoshi.com and just hit the esports button, and there's a schedule an appointment button if you're interested in getting coaching too, and you can find information on my streams and stuff there too. So check it out, and I think that's it.
Alrighty, well, this has been an action-packed under the radar. We've talked Nappa, we've talked the meta, we've talked shells, we've talked a lot of tech. This is probably the deepest dive we've gotten on tech so far, and Flo, I gotta be loving this.
I'm gonna finish the last thing on the option select. That hits on option select. People knew about for one, it wasn't really in heavy consideration during Dragon Ball before I made the video on it, but certain people knew about it. What people didn't know is that the game has a version of that option select that covers options that people didn't realize that it can cover, and I found a way how to do it. So we'll say I'll do say Android 16 for example. Let's say we poke with Android 16 armor.
Yeah.
If you perform the option select correctly on block, you can have Android 16 block string into 236S or something. On hit, you can have him super dash. On whiff, you can get a vanish.
Really?
Yeah.
You can triple option select?
You can triple option select.
That's terrifying. All right. Oh man.
And it's practical. I've proven that it's practical. It's hard, but I have proven every single time that you see me do meaty clap with Nappa, it's not just a meaty clap. It's a triple option select every single time against the DP characters.
I was wondering why you kept getting meaty claps so much. Okay, so I thought that was just a setup. Okay, that makes more sense.
Because I'm so good, I'm so consistent at doing that option select. I don't do safe jumps with Nappa when I can do that.
That's
because it's actually better than a safe jump for Nappa.
Hey.
And it lets him get virtual safe jumps in situations where you don't normally get the frame advantage. Like after J8 soft knockdown, he can do option select clap and cover every option they have.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that is going to do it for us. If you want to see more, if you enjoyed what you saw today, please be sure to follow both myself, FloKey, Rogueyoshi, everyone out here putting a lot of effort into the Dragon Ball community. But anyways, I have been JDiesel.
I have been FloKey.
And I'm Rogueyoshi.
And this has been Under the Radar. Have a good night, guys.